Just outside of downtown Medina, tucked in beside a hospital on a busy state route, sits a 17-acre farm with an important mission. At the Hope Recovery Farm at the Brown Trump Estate, you'll find chickens, goats, a greenhouse, mini horse, mini donkey, rabbits, and residents in recovery actively working the farm. Jon Robinson, Director of Operations and Recovery Housing, says the farm is an incredible partnership between Medina County Park District and Hope Recovery Community.
Yeah, so we run a recovery community organization which provides peer-run services, a community center, and recovery housing to those with substance use disorder. So as our need for housing grew, we were always looking at opportunities to expand our housing program, especially for men in recovery. So we had a great idea to try and do a recovery farm. We brought that up to the Medina County Adam Board, which has been a huge supporter of us. And it just so happened the next day, Nate Epping from the Medina County Park District called and said, "Hey, we have this farm and there's a house on it. Do you have anybody that would be interested in partnering with us?" So we partnered with the Park District. We have 12 guys that live here in certified recovery housing on the farm. And then we have 17 acres here. That is like the recovery farm playground for them. We have our garden and animals, and the guys that are living here are enrolled in our farm curriculum. So they get hands-on training in all aspects of what we're doing here. And we're just looking forward to continuing to grow that and provide those opportunities for learning as well as recovery support.
And that's what's really so critical too, is we have this innate connection to the soil and dirt and agriculture, And so to have that opportunity to really get your hands dirty is so important for that reset in recovery.
Yes.
Because science has proven that, you get your hands dirty, you plant, you play in the soil, you hang out with the animals and really get involved. It really makes a difference, and in just the way your brain functions.
Yes.
And so to have that aspect for recovery is really critical and so important. And you also have so many amazing partners throughout the community too that are all on board with this, right?
Yes. And we're seeing too recovery isn't always linear. It doesn't really travel in one direction. There's highs and lows, but here on the farm you get a sense of completion. And so our guys that are out, they're working in the garden or they're caring for the animals, watching them grow, building fences, building structures, they can walk away and say, "Hey, I did that today." There's that sense of accomplishment and even responsibility. We were talking, self-care in our world is so important, but there's a lot attached to that. Sometimes we have a lot of resentments and low self-esteem, and there's a lot of issues when it comes to self-care. But here on the farm, it's, hey, okay, we're not going to talk about that right away, but you're going to take care of a goat, right? You're going to wake up in the morning and feed the goats and let them out. And what that does is it opens the door to caring for something. And I really feel, and the guys have even shared, that they feel like they're part of something that's much bigger than themselves here. And that's just so important and unique. And we're really tracking the data on that to see how it impacts our overall program and length of stay and success from what we're doing here on the farm.
You've got everything. You've got bees, You've got chickens, you've got an amazing hoop house over here as well, right?
Yeah, and our community partners really came around us. The hoop house was provided by United Way and Crop King. Our garden space here, funded partially by the Cleveland Clinic Medina. Everything produced in the garden last year went to feeding Medina County, so we were close to 900 to 1,000 pounds of produce there. The community partnership is just incredible, and it's growing and growing. There's a lot more people saying, "Hey, how can we get involved? How can we help?" We're building a small children's garden in the corner of our large garden space here with a local organization that allows our residents to connect with their children as they come to visit. We'll have a small play area, a small garden area that they'll grow stuff. But we're just really looking forward to how those opportunities develop and more people coming around and alongside us. Medina County Park District has been amazing in this process. They've been huge supporters. We said, "Hey, we need a space to work on our tractor and to store some stuff." And they said, "Absolutely." The Friends of the Medina County Park, their nonprofit, built us a new garage. The garden and the produce is so important because what we're doing is we're using our resources and the guys in our program and trying to attempt to help the food insecurity in Medina County. And that's so important to us. This year, we're looking at donating food to other community partners. Yes, largely feeding Medina County, but there are other community organizations that need some produce too. So we're looking to expand our garden and to broaden our reach with those types of things.
And again, the success in recovery is really what it's all about. And it's incredible to have this type of facility right here.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And it's a farm in the city. So you get the farm agricultural feel. It's quieter. You're not surrounded by concrete, but you're only 1.5 miles from Medina Square. So the location is so perfect for this too.
So what else do you want folks to know about all the work that you all are doing here and how they can help?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of opportunities to help. There's obviously funding is a huge thing to help us continue our mission and to continue to grow. We're so grateful. Medina County Farm Bureau has come alongside us. Their annual event goes towards our program, and they did that for us last year. So a lot of great resources in the community. So if anybody has like farm and agricultural resources for us, we are more than willing to sit down and talk and learn. We're all learning this as we go, and ourselves too. So we're really excited. Our staff is excited. Our residents are excited to say, hey, what are we going to do this year? What are we going to try? So and really we have a lot of space to do that. So we're excited.
And it's a great model for what folks can do with agriculture too, and working with folks in recovery and using it in so many different therapeutic ways that really can help heal the area, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot there. And like I said, we're kind of on the cutting edge. This is the largest farm of its kind in the country right now, with recovery housing and everything that we're doing here. So we're on like the forefront of what this looks like. There's other organizations looking and saying, hey, like we have farm community, we have a housing recovery need. What are you guys doing? So really our goal is that we're going to be able to duplicate this somewhere else. So we're looking forward to that too.
Because this really is a historic space too, right?
Yes, yeah. This farm built in 1874. There's a land conservation on all the fields, so it can't be commercially developed. Nothing can be commercial here, so it needed to stay agricultural. It needed to be actively farmed, and so we said yes, we can do that. Yeah.
Anything else that you want to get out there for folks?
You know what? Recovery is alive in Medina County. Medina has actually become a recovery destination for those seeking help, and it's just so important to reduce that stigma. And that we're battling. We're showing up every day. We're coming alongside of people with this disease, and we're saying, hey, you can do that. And that comes from a personal perspective. Most all of our staff is in recovery or impacted with family members and such. So I'm a person in long-term recovery. My wife, the executive director, is also in recovery. Everybody on our team that deals with residents, we're all in recovery ourselves. So we can say, hey, like we get it. Like we know what this is like. And so just that recovery is in Medina County, and we're doing well, and we look forward to the opportunities.
You're not just talking the talk. You're living it every day. Yeah. So what everybody's going through. And again, to go through that collectively together. And again, that's what's beautiful about the farm industry and about agriculture is you're in that together, right?
Yeah, and I think it's, last year we were tilling the garden. I was on the tractor, and the one guy came out and said, "Man, how long have you been doing this? You really look like you know what you're doing." I said, "No, I really don't. Like, we are learning too." And so, able to take that and apply the recovery principles to this as we grow is so important. It's great, and it's innovative.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.
Again, for In Ohio Country Today, I'm Amanda Mangan.